Hello and welcome to the start of the Saw review series. Now, this is Saw 1. Again, for most of this series, just a big warning, big fat fucking spoiler warning. If I don't say it in the rest, I will try and say it in all of them, but for this one and most of these films in this series, big spoilers ahead for the ending. And if you haven't seen this movie, I do implore you to watch it and not have the ending spoiled, because if you haven't seen this movie, when the first time I saw it, it genuinely blew my mind away. For this one, at least. The others, they're still spoily endings, but if you don't care about any of these films, then it doesn't matter so much for the other ones. But for this one specifically, the twist is so good that you have to actually watch, just go and watch the fucking first Saw film. So yeah, this is Saw. Now, just a bit of a pre-context to this series. Saw is known as you know, one of the more gory series out there in the world, and for my reviews on this channel, I've mostly covered your generic action or funny movies, you know, action-oriented, action thriller drama, you know, those sort of movies, but mostly action movies like Bond stuff, Fast and Furious, Marvel, mostly action, and sometimes story-driven and story-based movies. But this is the first time on the channel that we're covering horror movies, and what a series to start with. And obviously this is all tied up in conjunction with the imminent release of the next chapter in the series, Spiral from the Book of Saw, which hits US cinemas on May 14th, 2021, and UK cinemas on May 17th, 2021. And yes, there will be, if I am able to get myself into the cinema to see the movie, a review of Spiral from the Book of Saw on this channel, and it'll be the last review in this series, so I won't start the next one until I've seen that movie in the cinematic But yeah, again, the original Saw is iconic. It is my personal favourite horror movie ever made. Definitely in my top 10 movies, personally. And again, it's one of those movies where you have to see it to truly understand. I mean, everyone here is brilliant character-wise. Carrie Ellis is on top form here as Dr. Lawrence Gordon. You've got Danny Glover as well as Detective Tapp, who goes insane and gets his neck cut by Jigsaw. The traps in this one, you have the candle trap, the reverse bear trap, the iconic reverse bear trap, obviously the shithole trap as well, which is the iconic bathroom trap. That one, it's an iconic trap. Then you also have Amanda goes through the first time we see Amanda here is in this film, and she's in the reverse bear trap. There's also there's another trap, but I can't remember what it is. Oh yeah, it's the barbed wire trap. And obviously in the barbed wire trap and the candle trap, both the victims die in those traps, but the victims, well, actually technically Gordon survives the shithole and Adam doesn't, but we'll find out about that in the next movie. But yeah, if you still watching this movie, prepare for the big spoiler, so I would turn off now if you don't want to be spoiled. I mean, you should have turned off if you're still watching this after this spoiler warning and still want to see this movie. You should have really turned it off by now. But in short, Spiral. No, not Spiral. The ending of this movie is one of the most iconic endings in all cinema history and all horror history. It's an iconic ending for an iconic movie. And if you haven't seen it, I again implore you to go and see it. And I don't want you to be spoiled here, but again, spoilers right now. It's hard to explain the ending, but it is so good. I had the privilege of being able to experience it with another person at the same time, and their reaction, and I loved. Obviously, when I'd sat down to see it with them, I'd already seen it before, so it was me watching them react to it rather than me react to it. Because when I saw it first, my mind was just fucking blown. But I had the privilege of watching it with a friend, a good friend of the channel, and he and his reaction was just the same as mine. It was just, although it was literally, I think we'd watched the whole film through, and we were literally at just about the big twist happen. And about 5 seconds before the twist happened, he said, "Is it this person?" And I was like, "You just fucking wait." And he guessed it then. But when he actually saw it happen and unfold, he was absolutely just it's a mind-blowing moment, and I do implore you to watch the film to fully understand the context of it. It's essentially there's been a dead body in the room the entire time, and it was basically it was the dead body. Without giving too many spoilers away, but even also giving the big spoiler away, it was a dead body basically. But yeah, it's just an iconic movie. I did find myself watching it though, having getting slightly not turned off or bored, but drawn out of the action, because it has. Obviously, it was a very budgeted movie, so you can tell it's obviously known that, you know, the editing tricks they used were because they didn't have much budget. The fact that the screenwriter actually plays one of the main characters is because they didn't have much budget, despite the fact being able to get two quite big Hollywood actors at the time. Well, at the time, I say two fairly big actors in this movie, Carrie Elwes, and Carrie Elwes was famous for The Princess Diaries, and the Princess. No, something like that. I'm not going to get this wrong. I don't like getting facts wrong. I really don't like getting things like this wrong, so it will trigger me. But while we look for that, I want to talk about one of the more important aspects of this movie, and another part of its iconicness, and it's the music you're hearing right now in the background, and that is, of course, this movie's iconic original soundtrack, which obviously contains the first instance of anyone in the world ever hearing the signature piece, Hello Zepp, composed by Saw composer Charlie Clouser, who, while the series has had many other directors, writers and actors come and go, the one man who has been through it all, literally, I think he's one of the only members of staff who's worked on every single Saw movie, and they are not the same without his music. If there was a Saw film without him in it, I would genuinely boycott, and I'm pretty sure everyone else was. I was watching a they did a live stream together. The director of Spiral, Darren Lynn Bousman, who also directed 2, 3 and 4, did a live on Instagram with Charlie Clouser, and it's just interesting to hear the two of them talk about it. Again, the score here is brilliant, and obviously the most iconic piece is obviously Hello Zepp, an overture, which is the ending piece that plays over the big game moment. So it really, I don't think, if you ask me, that moment wouldn't be as impactful and as cinematically remembered if you take the music out of that and change it to some other generic sort of build-up ending music. It wouldn't be as good. That music is really what makes that scene in so many ways. The acting is up and down, because obviously when it's the screenwriter doing acting, no discredit to Leigh Whannell, he's a very talented man, and I mean he's also a director now, but he screenwrote the original Saw movie, so it's humble beginnings. But he did direct The Invisible Man, which is one of my favourite horror movies of all time, so he's not completely talentless in any department. There is just some departments that he obviously, I don't think he's acted in another movie since then. I don't actually know, but off the top of my head, I don't think he's acted in another movie other than the original Saw. I don't know, don't quote me on that, probably has, but yeah. Obviously, cast-wise, this is the first time we see Tobin Bell as Jigsaw, first time we see Shawnee Smith as Amanda Young, first time, and I think that's about it for characters who reoccurring in this. Okay, buddy. But yeah, it's the cast again in these movies is usually pretty high profile. You know, with a lot of high profile people in it. The Princess Bride, that's what he was known for. The 1987 movie, The Princess Bride, that's what Carrie Elwes is known for. As well as appearing in this movie, I think they're his two. Oh, and he also appeared in the final chapter, Saw the final chapter as well. Only in 2 Saw movies out of all of them. But yeah, again, it's just the twist is top of its class here. The movie as a whole is also brilliant. It's great to just see it. And obviously now in 2021, the movie's coming to 4K Ultra HD. Coming to 4K, so obviously the trailer I've used is the 4K trailer because it's easier than having to search down the original trailer, because it's quite hard to do that sometimes. But yeah, it's just an iconic movie, the start of an iconic franchise. It's obviously going to be my favourite in the franchise without a doubt, although from what I've heard from review wise, Spiral may top it, and I'm hoping it does, because a Saw movie, Chris Rock, Samuel L. Jackson, how am I still on Earth? But yeah, aside from the fact that that's going to be probably one of the best movies ever made, period T. Um, Again, it's just an iconic movie, and I loved it the first time I watched it. I fell in love with the series the first time I watched it. I'd had them on DVD when I bought them for the first time on DVD, but I had been on Saw the Ride before I'd seen any movies, and it just inspired me to actually, to be fair, since watching these films for the first time, I haven't actually been on Saw the Ride since I rewatched these. I've watched these movies for the first time, and I haven't been on Saw the Ride since, because I watched these movies for the first time in 2000, late 2019, planning to go. I think it was around Halloween 2019, because that obviously makes sense. But then planning to go to Saw the Ride in 2020, but we all know what happened in that year. That was a fun year to exist. So I haven't been to Thorpe Park since 2019, sad face. But yeah, obviously Saw the Ride is a thing that we'll talk about for Saw 6 review, because it opened in the year Saw 6 came out, so we'll talk about it more then. But again, that's something I just want to mention that is one of the reasons why I'm watching this series as well, but I'll talk about that when we get to Saw 6. I hope to keep that in my brain to talk about it for Saw 6, because I do say things and I actually forget to talk about them. But yeah, it's just an iconic movie, obviously directed by James Wan, who, if you don't know, I previously mentioned in the Furious 7 review for directing, well, that movie, and he also directed Aquaman, so that's my favourite James Wan movies, those three. But obviously, in order of which ones, for me, it's Saw, Furious 7, Aquaman. Aquaman's not a bad movie. I used to hate it, but I actually love it now. But yeah, again, it's so well, cleverly done, cleverly written and performed here. The twists and turns, and how it's not all in one sequential or continuity order, how it's not in like timeline order. It shows flashbacks, not flash forwards, but flashbacks and stuff, and different. It's really well shot, but in also some points the editing is quite fast paced due to the budget, which is fun, and obviously some of the set design and stuff, due to its lower budget, it does look like it has a lower budget than the first Fast and Furious movie, which is quite something to achieve, considering that movie looks like one of the lowest budget movies ever made. But this movie obviously had a lower budget than even that movie, and it came out 3 years later, so fun. But yeah, it's just such an iconic movie, and I can't stress enough, it's a must-see movie. Out of any movie in this franchise, this is the one that you must see. And I have to admit, 2 and 3 are actually really good, and if you really don't care after seeing, I recommend watching the first 3, and if it doesn't entice you by the third one, then I'd recommend, stepping off and finding something else. But if it does entice you by the third one, and you actually enjoy them, then I'd say can carry on. But at the very least, watch the first 3, and then after that, it's a bit up and down. But yeah, this is the only one in the series to be directed by James Wan, which is a dare, I suppose. But yeah, this has been my review of the original Saw. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to check back tomorrow for Saw 2. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful day. Don't forget to check out all the other videos, and stay tuned for this lovely series we're going to be doing now. And then obviously we're getting closer and closer to that point where I'll just be reviewing movies that I choose, so it won't be daily, it might be once a week or something like that, or once every couple of days when I feel like watching an actual singular movie and stuff. So yeah, daily uploads might stop for a while, but who gives, because no one watches my videos. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful day, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye.